Good evening. The tapes offer a chilling record of terror and heroism.
The 911 tapes are from Jersey City, which sent hundreds of its own police officers and firefighters across the river into lower Manhattan. The tapes, heard for the first time, captured some of the chaos, the disbelief, and the heroics of the day the terrorists committed mass murder in America. Here's New Jersey reporter Brian Thompson. Brian?
Thank you, Chuck. What we will hear tonight for the first time are the raw words spoken and recorded that day. Raw in their power, raw in their fear.
A plane had just hit the North Tower. Many thought it might be an accident. Not this cop. From across the river, the view seemed clear.
We were activating immediately. As soon as the first plane hit, we were already activating.
You knew it was a terrorist attack?
Yes.
A sense of foreboding extended even to Lady Liberty. Not so far-fetched, considering the news from the Pentagon. And after both towers had been hit, the scrambling of Air Force jets was at first more unnerving than reassuring.
612, good.
Finally, the reassurance.
The news reported that she gets fighters.
At one point, a police officer called into this 911 center to talk with a friend. Perhaps it was his wife.
This is terrorists. Once they find out who did this, that'll be the end of their country. That'll be the end of their country.
Many, though, were looking closer to home, wondering if the terror was over, and pointing fingers. There were many calls like these.
Jersey City Police 385.
We have a white van. Three guys in there. They look like Palestinians. They're going around a building.
There's a minivan heading towards the Holland Tunnel. I seen a guy by North Airport mixing some drugs, and he had no chic uniform on.
He has what?
He's dressed like an Arab.
The biggest tragedy for Jersey City heroes came in its fire department that day, not for the Rescue 1 guys who went in for search and rescue, but for a civilian who worked out of this dispatch center. Joseph Lavero was a trained EMT who volunteered to ride into New York with the Battalion 3 chief while the towers were still standing.
Most of us in a job like that, you would start getting dressed anyway, whether they called you or not.
Battalion 3 to dispatch, we've just had another explosion. Battalion 3 to dispatch, we've had an additional explosion. Received Battalion 3, additional explosion.
A handful of Jersey City firemen, with Lavero, the civilian dispatcher, managed to survive the first collapse, grouping near the still-standing North Tower.
Deputy 1 from Battalion 3, that's affirmative. I have all JCFD personnel on my location. Very safe.
Listening to the calls, listening to the radios as we're up here, watching out the window, it still doesn't seem real.
Because then, disaster.
Battalion 5, be advised, we're trying to contact Battalion 3 at this moment to report North Tower just collapsed. Dispatch Battalion 3.
Finally, words of hope from hell.
Battalion 3, I read. North Tower has collapsed. Battalion 3, all members accounted for.
All but for Joseph Lavero. He made it through the first collapse, but died in the second. His body found near that of New York Fire Chief Peter Gansey. Remarkable tapes, not just for the stories they tell us, but for the insights they expose in the heat of what was to become the first day in the war on terror. Sue, Chuck.
Brian Thompson.
Brian, thank you.